Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Wasn't that little bear so cute? Look at him. He's so fucking adorable. He looks like, oh my god. Also, we need to talk about the cookies from this morning. The cookies, if you are just catching up, maybe you're just getting home from working a long day at the office. I get it, my bruh. This morning I made what was supposed to be 12 cookies. It turned out to be 11 cookies, just the way life goes. And I ate 2 of them live. Okay. I planned one. I ate 2 live. I ate a third one almost immediately after we shut off the camera. And then I packed them away. They were packed and I put them away. And then the 2 boys came in and all the cookies were gone. And they were so good that he went to the store and he had been making fun of me because I showed him the package. I said, it's a pack. It's a pack. And I said, though, they were pretty good. I mean, we added just butter and water. Pretty good result. So I came out and I said, there's no fucking cookies. You ate all the cookies? All the cookies were gone. Then I look at this and it calls for an egg. Well, it was only this morning that we did it and it didn't call for an egg. This also calls for double the butter. Now, it says it's making 20 cookies. They lied this morning. I'm not sure how much this cost. I'll check the receipt. Anyways, suffice it to say, the cookies were good. Apparently Moorish. I love that word. They were Moorish. Hi, Donald. Ahoy, 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 hoy, hoy. Let's get on with our evening for tonight. Although I would love for you to tell me what you're eating for dinner. Is it 20 cookies? There's no judgment here. You're allowed to do that. But I, honest to God, ate 3. And then I did eat 2 pancakes. But I did eat, see, half a cup of butter is twice as much as a quarter cup of butter. And that's just plain math, folks. You had a taco date today, Beverly. Well, shit, that sounds like a dream. That sounds like a dream come true. We're continuing to pull double shifts this week, you guys. That means 2 shows, 2 shifts for you, if you can make it. If not, we can discuss it in your performance reviews that are coming up in the fall. Yes, many of you that work in an office know what a performance review is, but some of you may not have had them before. I've decided to do channel performance reviews for anybody that wants it. So, keep that in mind as we come into the fall season. Some people associate this time of year with pumpkin spice, apple cider. I associate it with judgment and disappointment. So, those are 2 themes. Cellulite yoga pants. I want to raise 2. I really do. Oh! You know I'm kidding, you guys. Well, not really though, because this channel does track a lot of statistics that some channels don't track or don't look at. I can pay you in KCC points. No, in fact, actually, well, it's a joke slash not joke, but the point being, I am pulling doubles this week. I really think it's better for me. And I'm thinking quarter four is going to be top notch. We're a fourth quarter team, if you will. Oh, boobs. Boobs in the heart. Boobs in the heart. Feels so good. Thank you so much, NPC. A raise for me and a raise for you. That's amazing. Yay, boobs. Oh, boobs in the heart. Oh, see, it's like fishing. This is like fishing. This is a beautiful thing. This doesn't always happen. I'm often over here, over there. Thank you, Casey Carey. I love the emojis. I love that we can see them. I love that Streamlabs and I... Well, you know, because Streamlabs has different roles around here, I had to have a chat a little while ago about Streamlabs continuing. You know, I found a new program that allows roulette. I was serious. I was on the cusp. On the cusp. But things have improved as of lately. I think you'll all notice and agree with that. So, for now, we'll stay here the way we are. Thank you guys again so much. But seriously, doesn't it feel... Sometimes it feels like I can't be in the right place at the right time. The things don't come up at the right time. But tonight, I shouldn't jinx it. Don't jinx it, Paisley. Okay, I won't. Go ahead. Put your reminder caps back to yesterday when we watched part 2 of this. I've linked parts 1, 2, and 3 in the chat. This is part 3, but I linked it anyways for ease of next time. Like I said, pulling double shifts today, did quite a bit of work. If you didn't catch it, earlier today when we made cookies, we watched a TPO, but we also watched a quite heated exchange in Judge Bromlich's court, which I thought was pretty good. And yes, isn't it true? Isn't it true that yesterday we heard the lawyer say, isn't it true, 1 billion times? Yes, that's true. Isn't it true, Crystal White, that he's gonna say it again? Yeah, it's right. It's right. Isn't it true? It sounds like a game. It sounds like a game that you play when you are trying, like, you know, Never Have I Ever. That's the game I'm thinking of in my head. Never Have I Ever. When I was growing up, we had a game called Dream Phone, and also a game called, it was like a serious... Yay, John! Like the new name! Dream Phone, and then Mall Madness, but there was another Truth or Dare one that was a little bit weird. A little weird. I'll say that. Do we like red? I think red is not a good color for the chat thing up there. So let's just pull that down, and then we'll pull it back up again, and we'll see what color we get. This is not a dress. This is a shirt, but I love it too. Yes. I think orange is fine. We'll keep that one. Thank you again, John. I appreciate that. You are so welcome. And you know, Dream Date. I think that was it. Oh. So many of these games. And I just like fiended for them. And my mother, you could tell she just wanted to not give them to me. My mom was a crunchy mom. combined with a few other sort of stereotypical tropes about mothers, and most anything feminine, high music, most anything feminine was just like not in the house. And so, like I never saw her do makeup very ever. And my daughter already does more makeup than me. Anyways, though, but the whole point was I would beg for these board games. And they were board games. They were advertised on cartoons or Saturdays at my grandparents', and I would ask my grandparents. And my grandparents are kind and they were generous, and so, and that was back in the day when you had to like start early and hit hard to get what you wanted for your Christmas, in my experience. Like, you had to be specific because you could come out with the wrong thing. But despite what I now recognize as my mom not wanting us to have those, yay! Oh, it's not over my boobs anymore. My grandma and my Jonda bought them for us, and I remember like Mall Madness especially. My mom was like, ugh. And you had a credit card, and you swiped your credit card, and it had like mall announcements. I fucking would love to play that game again. Oh. My sister bought Dream something recently. I can't remember what she got. Was it that? I can't remember. Anyways, let's get going, finishing this off for tonight before we keep going. Oh, yeah, it was one Christmas crystal that I just needed Mall Madness. Loud. Does it? I love it. Hi, Carla. Yes. Oh, you guys are my people. We love Mall Madness. It was a 2-floor game, which I thought was really interesting for a board game. But in the end, just a board game. Dream Phone. Yeah. Oh my God. Dream Phone. Oh. And you would call your crush. Oh. Oh, Girl Talk. Oh, that might be the one, Beverly. Girl Talk. Oh, that might be the one. Nothing was ever deviant enough for me, by the way. Because I was also in, let's just say I was an early internet user, and nowadays, I guess I'd be a catfish. But when I was like, 10 and 11 years old, you just lied about your age because it wasn't appropriate to be a 10 or 11-year-old. And then adults talk to you a lot. I spent a lot of time in internet chat rooms. In fact, I still do. I was thinking about it earlier. That's the vibe we get here. Not creepy adults, just like adults, coming together, talking. Anyways, let's get going with this. I always used to say, like, no cam, though. Like, they would want you to get on camera. ASL. And be like, oh, my webcam's broken. Let's type about it. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think I remember. And remember, I was born in 1988, so we're talking about, like, I specifically remember probably before, like, yeah, when I was 11, like 1999, 1998. Actually, I've been trying, last thing I'll say before we get going. I've been trying for a number of years to find a chat bot that replicates the experience I used to have in the early 2000s in Yahoo chats, where you would be playing a trivia game that was all inside the chat. And I think that we were playing a different other game, or the cherry, like, it feels very similar to this in the sense that there was a chat, there was something else, there wasn't a host, but you basically you got points, more points the faster you answered, and it was on its own, but the other chat would go on around it. And that was when that was like my favorite type of chat room, and I'd really love to be able to replicate that, like have an ongoing trivia game that you can participate in by just basically typing a command answer in it, and then it would rank everybody over time. That's my dream. And again, this existed in the early 2000s. I remember. But I have not yet been able to figure out exactly how to do that. This is as close as we come so far.
Since March, and they will not answer my phone calls.
Okay, let's get into that. There's been some testimony by Kelsey as to they can't get a hold of you at all. That the way the system is that there's no way they can get a hold of you, I guess, except for if they pay for the JPEG write letters, which she acknowledges she doesn't write. But how does that work, I guess, to have communication with people on the phone?
I can call anybody. I get a 1 free phone call every week. But if I want to reach out to someone that doesn't have a phone account, I have to have money on my end, which my family, my mom and my father, put money in my account every month. I have a job in here, so I have my own money. But I can reach out to them and they can reach out to me. I can transfer money to my stamps, to my JPay account, which allows me to purchase stamps. I specifically asked Miss Cronkite every time she would message me to send me a reply stamp, because at that time I didn't have funds to buy stamps. But they initially reached out to me by mail. They wrote me by mail stating that something was happening with my daughter and that they had to put her in counseling, and they wanted me to reach out to them. So that's when I first reached out to Ori, and he created a phone account and put money on his phone. But he would be at work, so I couldn't talk to Chloe through him. He wanted me to call Kelsey's phone. So when I called Kelsey's phone, I had to use my own money to talk to her.
But you did have conversations with her on her phone?
Absolutely, with my daughter as well.
And so this statement, as I understand it, that there's no ability for them to get a hold of you and it's all on you, is not accurate?
Correct. The last thing I've reached out to Ori when he was working out of state, and he told me to contact Kelsey's phone. And when I did, she had wrote me on JPay. I sent you all of the JPay messages by mail. The last one that she had sent to me was that she couldn't answer because she had no money on her end, but if she would have listened to the prompts, it was a free call.
And so since March of 2024, they have not made any effort to write you letters, send you information from Chloe, or contact you in any means.
Nothing.
Okay. And so you have not had any communication with your daughter since that time period as well.
You're right.
And has there been anything else that Mr. Cronkite has done? I mean, has he shown you anything to try to help facilitate contact with your daughter during that time period from March until now?
No.
And he never did that from July or June of 2022 until December of 23?
You're absolutely right.
Did there come a time when you were talking to your daughter on the phone in December, January, February that we were talking about? So that Kelsey was telling your daughter to tell you things?
Yes.
And what was Kelsey telling your daughter to say?
She was telling her to tell me that my mom had took her to a yellow and brown house and telling her that Ori was not her father
Did she repeat
and
that?
that she was taken to a yellow and brown house and that my mom had made her wait in a car and that she had introduced her to some man telling her
Did
that
she,
Ori was not her father.
and did she say that or tell Chloe to tell you that multiple times?
Yeah. She even said, I'm gonna leave the room. You can talk to your mom.
And then when she said she left the room, she really didn't.
Objection,
Right.
speculation.
Could you still hear Kelsey's voice?
Yes.
So she clearly didn't leave the room.
Right. This all started because my mom was allowing me to talk to Chloe over the phone without asking them permission.
Objection, that's speculation, and the question has not been asked.
Let me ask,
Sustained.
yeah. Miss Morgan, did at any point Ori or his wife tell you that they were upset with your mom talking to you on the phone?
Yes.
And I mean, what specifically did Ori say?
That if they would have just asked permission, that, well, it came out of Kelsey's mouth, but they specifically stated that if the day that my daughter was there visiting them, that if they would have just contacted them stating, hey, Taylor's gonna be
I'm
calling
gonna
today at
object. This is hearsay coming allegedly from Kelsey, and that was not testified to previously.
Sustained unless you can lay a foundation, Mr. Bartel.
So it was your understanding this came about in part that your mother was allowing contact with you,
Correct.
and Ori was not happy about that.
Right.
So the communication stopped when in March? Do you recall?
I wanna say like March 5th was the last time that I had received that email from Kelsey. I sent them to your office and I printed them and sent them to you. Did you get those?
Taylor, just answer the questions I'm asking. So did that communication stop after you said, I'm not signing off my legal rights?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And so that was the final time you spoke because you said, I'm not signing off my legal rights.
Right.
So when you talked on the phone with your daughter, did she seem happy when she was in with your parents?
Yeah.
I mean, was she depressed?
No, she was so happy sometimes she didn't even want to be on the phone. She was having fun.
So there was never any indication based on all these conversations you were having up through November of 2023 that there was a problem going on at your parents' house with the care of Chloe.
No.
I mean, did she always seem in good spirits?
Yeah.
And was there other communication with Chloe? I mean, did Chloe ever send you stuff when she was with your parents?
No, she would do it on pictures and like my mom would show me, like send them to me through JPay, but she wouldn't send them to me through the mail. They
Okay.
would take pictures of the things she would do and send them to me.
Okay, so you got pictures that Chloe would draw,
Yeah.
and Did these
I think
pictures,
this needs to be in. Okay. Sorry, they just were wondering if I had my ID.
did these pictures ever give you a concern that there was something bad going on when she was in the presence of your parents?
No, absolutely not.
Did they give you any concern that she was sad or depressed in general?
No.
Okay, I mean, what type of pictures were she sending?
Like there was this picture she had drew of a person and it was like a baby in their belly. And she would say that this was her in my stomach. And it was like my mom and my dad and my little brother. Like just little like stick figures.
So she was painting pictures of you and your side of the family as a family with her?
Right.
Okay.
He looks he looks stunned. Do you need like a mid-marathon gel, Aaron, or something?
So we had testimony just recently from Kelsey that they have moved to Kalamazoo. Did they ever reach out to you to ask or agree to move to Kalamazoo?
No, they did not.
What school was she in previously?
She was in Penfield schools,
Okay.
North
And you
Penn.
have and you have joint legal custody,
Yes, I do.
and you had just recently filed a motion for order to show cause with the court with regards to his unilateral decision to take Chloe to a counselor.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And now he hasn't talked to you about moving her to another school district.
Objection due to the relevance to grandparenting time. This is a separate issue.
Well, as the court had indicated, we're talking also about the best interest factors, which is pretty all encompassing, including whatever the court believes is in the best interest of the minor child or may affect the child. What we have here is Mr. Cronkite, who actually has knowledge and blatantly decides disregard of your order, Your Honor, to decide to take the child to another school district unilaterally. I mean, he knows he's supposed to have joint, that him and Taylor are supposed to talk together and make those important decisions. And if they can't, then they come to this court. And he knows that because we have filed a motion for order of show cause. And he also knew that he didn't get rid of the joint legal. That's why it's relevant, Your Honor.
Well, court will allow it, but I think you've addressed that as to the fact that he has not communicated. I don't know. Going into that in depth in any way, it is relevant.
Okay, thank you. Just look at my notes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Miss Morgan, are you in full support of your parents having grandparenting time with your daughter while you are incarcerated?
Absolutely.
Do you think it would be in Chloe's best interest to have that contact with your parents?
I do.
And why is that?
Because it's been the same since she's been born.
When you say it's the same, you mean that she's had so much close contact with your parents since she was born?
Yes,
And do you think it'll be negatively impacting her if she doesn't see your parents?
I do.
And do you think it would be a risk to her emotional, psychological well-being to not see her parents?
Objection, that's speculation.
Well, it's opinion, Your Honor, just like Ms. Cronkite kind of was allowed to testify on those things.
I'll allow it only as to the defendant's opinion.
I do, Aaron.
And is it because of everything you described as to the closeness and support? I mean, I'm not going to go through everything. Is it based upon everything you've already testified today as to how close they were and the love and affection going both ways?
Yes.
And before you were incarcerated and even after, could you tell that Chloe loved your parents?
100%.
And why do you say that?
Because the way that I would see her eyes, like just the way that she would act, the things that she would do. As soon as she came to their home, she would run up the stairs right into their door. Papa, Nana, that's her papa and her Nana. Like that's her grandparents that she's known since she's been born. She lived in their home. And she's just been snatched away from them. It's not fair.
And do you think that Mr. Cronkite's decision holding Chloe from the grandparents is going to negatively impact the ability to co-parent in the future once you get out?
I do.
And why is that?
Because that's where I'm going to parole to, is to my parents' home.
Does it mean that you can't trust Mr. Cronkite in the future based upon things he has said to you?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Reed, any cross-examination?
Yes, you just indicated that you're going to be paroled to your parents' house. Do you have a date for parole?
No, not at this time.
And do you have another case out of Indiana that you might have to serve time for?
I get to serve my time on a community corrections basis, which is a house arrest program at my parents' home.
And you are certain you qualify for that program?
Yes, I am.
When is your earliest release?
For
Do you know when
Michigan,
you're, yes.
November 28th.
Is that this year?
Yeah.
I have no further questions.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bartel, as a result of that cross?
Well, I do have one clarification. Ms. Morgan, did you go before the parole board this year?
I did.
Okay, so do you know if you are getting out on November 28th of this year?
I'm not.
Okay, so just for clarification purposes, it may be next year before you are released.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll be eligible in July of 2025.
Have your parents?
Just as a little recap to remember, mom has a 15-year prison sentence for home invasion. She was sentenced heavily because she had a previous conviction. But keep also in mind that this is specifically not about mom and her parental rights. This is about the grandparents rights specifically, which I am aware is a hard presumption to overcome in Michigan specifically. And what happened in this case is that the judge ruled in favor that this child should continue to see her grandparents, maternal grandparents. And they appealed it to the Court of Appeals, and they sent it back down for reconsideration. If you listen at the very beginning of this, he explains that he already thought about what they wanted him to point out, but he hadn't written it explicitly. So that tells me that the likelihood that this case will be found in the same way is probably likely, but they're fighting it again. I would imagine de novo. I don't know if it's de novo though. Anyways. But the other thing to keep in mind is that the stepmom who has the custody of this child at this point was involved in a fatal car crash with that child and one of her own children who sadly died in that car crash. And she doesn't seem to be serving any time in prison for that. Although she did do she pled to a DUI or something like that. So it's a fucked situation on a lot of levels, but I think it would be incredibly difficult to be in mom's position in jail, knowing that she really can't assert anything. The grandparents are trying their absolute best, but we have Miss Reed really fighting this. She's not our favorite either. Who said that earlier? Not our favorite. Yeah, anyways. Let's continue.
Well, no further questions here.
Okay. Anything else, Miss Reed?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Mr. Bartel, your next witness.
Yes, I would call Carlina Toledo.
Okay. Let me ask this. Obviously you'll probably be with her for a while. Do you want to take a break for lunch and then resume at, let's say, 1 o'clock?
I can do that, or let me double check on one thing. I might have one short witness. Just give me like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Unless the court just wants to go to lunch, that's fine.
No, I'm just, if you've got a short witness, we'll do that. Or I'm just saying because hers is going to take long that I don't want to
Yeah, yes.
start and break it up.
Yeah, let me double check one thing here.
Okay.
Can you guys check one thing for me? Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel already and liked the video. We're doing this in digestible parts because, like I said...
Your Honor, I have a witness actually here who has trouble with technology. It's Gloria Coughing, and I think she would probably be a 20 or 30-minute witness at most.
Okay.
If you want me to do that, I can bring her into my office.
Why don't we do that?
Okay, I'm gonna move my computer all around, Your Honor, so I can sit next to her.
Don't explain,
so
just
we all can see
do,
her.
Aaron.
Just give me 1 second. I gotta.
I think he left it unmuted though. As he goes to collect his witness, let us bear witness to this sad mess. Somebody said it yesterday. I think that Ori is gonna find out that this woman, the new stepmom, is a bad news bear. Also, tomorrow morning, you're going to be redirected. I know what's going to happen is tonight, after this episode, you'll be redirected to tomorrow morning's live, which you can hit the notification bell on. Because we're making red velvet cake while watching some friend of the court show cause hearings. It's going to be a blast. Hopefully, not a blast from the past, although we have seen some old child support cases lately. All right, this lady's old news as well. Don't be rude, Paisley.
Okay, ma'am, we're going to take some testimony from you, so I need to have you raise your right hand and be sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Go ahead, Mr. Bartel.
Thank you. Can you state your name for the record, spelling your last?
Coffing, Coffin, Gloria, Gloria.
And do you know Chloe Cronkite?
Yes, I do, sir.
And how do you know her?
She's my great-granddaughter, my granddaughter's Taylor's mom, and my daughter Carolina, grandma.
And so how long have you known Chloe since birth?
Since birth.
Okay. Have you had extensive contacts with her since birth?
Yes, sir.
And can you describe since birth about how often you would see Chloe?
A lot. I can't recall, but I did a lot.
I mean, is it more on a weekly or at least bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Okay. And that was since her birth?
Yes, sir.
Now, could you describe the close contact or whether there was close contact between Chloe and Carlina and Jamie?
Very close.
Can you describe it to the court?
Yes. I would go over there with my daughter every time Chloe would be there, spend some time with her, me and my granddaughters. And at the beginning, we would see her a lot, but then we would see her every other weekend and every Wednesday. And I would try to be there to see Chloe.
And when you saw Chloe interact with her grandparents, and I'm just gonna, for purposes of this, every time I say grandparents, it's Carlina and Jamie. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And could you describe, was she happy to see them?
Very, very happy.
And can you describe what she would do?
Oh, she would just go and jumped on them and hugged them and loved them, and they would love each other.
Was there ever a time period in which Chloe was sad, depressed around her grandparents?
No, never. She was always happy when she see us, when she saw us.
And did you ever witness times where she didn't want to go back home?
Oh, yes. She would put a fit on. She didn't want to go. And she would tell Papa, Nana, please call my dad.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained. Miss
Yes.
Coffey, you
Okay.
can't say what the child says.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
But it was clear she didn't want to go home.
Yes,
Good.
clearly, clearly.
And would she then start getting sad and depressed because she had to go home?
Yes, she did.
That's
the truth, the honest truth.
And was that the case even leading up to November of 23?
Yes, yes, sir.
And was that pretty though routine, even for the last 3 or 4 plus years that she didn't want to go home?
Oh, yes.
And were you ever strike that? Did the grandparents take care of Chloe for the last couple of years, up
Yeah.
until the time that they were not able to
Yes,
see her?
yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
they did.
And what did they do for her?
Well, my daughter showed her how to write her name, Chloe, and I have the paperwork where she said, look, my nana. Oh, I can't say that.
Objection,
Sorry.
hearsay.
I'm sorry.
Sustained.
I'm sorry. They did a lot together. They would bake cupcakes and cookies together. She would give her a bath and read a book for her. and we would pray for her to go to bed. And when she went to sleep, my daughter would go to her room and I would go to the couch and I would sleep in the couch. Sometimes I would stay the night with them.
Did they provide financial support for
Oh,
Chloe?
yes. Oh, yes. We all did, even me.
And could you describe to the court the financial support that you provided?
We gave them money. We buy them medicine. We buy them clothes. I even took her to Kohl's to get clothes for all the kids, not just my granddaughter.
When you say all the kids, who do you mean by all the kids?
Uriah and the little one, which I don't really recall his name.
Okay, but is that Kelsey Cronkite's kids?
Yes.
Okay,
And if I buy something for Chloe, I would buy some for them too, because I would feel sad to take something to Chloe and not to them.
and do you see the grandparents do that as well?
Oh, yes, all the time.
So they'd be buying gifts and clothes and other items for Mr. Cronkite's other kids.
Yes, they did, especially in school time. He would buy them all their clothes for school and pictures, pay for the pictures.
Did you ever see the grandparents either physically or mentally abuse Chloe?
Oh, never, 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 never. They will always loved her.
Would they ever, if Chloe ever had to be disciplined, do you know, or did you ever witness what they would do?
Well, they would just put her in timeout for a little while.
But there was no yelling or screaming or physical
Oh,
abuse.
never, never, never. I never saw that.
And you had indicated Carlina would bathe Chloe
Yes,
and
she
she
would,
would put her to bed
yes,
and read stories
yes, books, yes,
and prepare meals for her.
yes.
Would she empathize with Chloe if something going on or wrong with her?
I don't,
I mean, was she there for her if Chloe had an issue?
oh, yes, she's always been there for her.
And if Chloe had an issue, would she go to Carlina and Jamie?
Yes, yes, yes.
Would the grandparents ever put their needs in front of Chloe's needs?
I don't understand.
Would they put their needs
Yeah.
and wants before Chloe's needs, or would they always put Chloe first?
Always put Chloe first.
And she openly showed signs of affection to both of them?
Oh, yes, very, very, very.
Do you have I'm just asking a personal knowledge. Do you have personal knowledge of them taking care of Chloe when she was sick?
Yes, many times.
Okay. Were there times that she was over there when, because Mr. Cronkite and his wife were not going to take care of her when she was sick?
Yes,
Okay. And so they would take care of her and buy medicine and make sure she got healthy?
yes. One time my daughter had to work and my son-in-law had to work and my daughter gave me some money to go buy some Pedialyte and some drinks and medicine for her, and I took it to her house.
So you even went out of your way
Yes,
because everyone else was busy to make sure she was taken care of.
yes, sir. I even took Kelsey to Kohl's and buy her clothes, and she picked up clothes for Chloe and her boys.
And you paid for all of it.
I charged all of it, $400 and something. She went with me to pick up the clothes.
So is it fair to say when Mr. Cronkite and his wife wanted something, they would actually be nice to you guys?
Yeah, they were nice.
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Pull it together, Aaron. Also, Ed, I'm not eating most of the baked goods. There's two teenagers and another adult in this house. So luckily, it's not just me.
Um, did the grandparents help Chloe with, I guess, her learning?
Oh, yes, my daughter would, she's the one that showed her how to write her name. And my daughter would let her do her hair, my hair, because she wanted to be a beautician like her nana, like her grandma Carlene. So I went and bought her a case with like a hair dryer and, like kid stuff to do hair, because that's what she wanted to be. She wanted to be a beautician like her nana.
Almost like a role model.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And were you ever around when the grandparents would have Chloe talk to Taylor Morgan on the phone since
Yes,
she's been incarcerated?
Sometimes,
You were around sometimes?
yes.
Okay, was she excited to talk?
Oh,
to
very
her mother?
excited, very excited. They have a song that they sang together, and she always asks, "Put me mama's song on the phone."
Do you ever see a time when the grandparents did not properly supervise the child?
No, they always did.
Okay. I mean, did she ever have any accidents that you can think of while she was in the care of the grandparents?
No, never.
Jody, we love you so much. Make sure you reach out if you need help. There's so many people here for you. And I love you, and I know you're so strong, and you can make it through anything. And we're here for you. And yes, 2 teenagers and an asshole in his 40s rounds out the food eaters in this house, plus me. But I am still going to the gym.
And was Chloe ever any extracurricular activities or other things, I guess, that you guys went to events?
Oh, yeah, we went to event. We went to Chuck E. Cheese. I even took her son with us one time.
When you say her son, we gotta clarify, is that,
Zachary. I think that's his name,
are you
Zachary.
talking about Kelsey and Ori's son?
Yeah, close. Yeah, no, her son.
Kelsey's son?
Yeah, I took him to Chuck E. Cheese with me,
Okay.
with us.
And so you guys would, what was that for?
To spend time with them and for them to have fun.
Yeah.
We would buy pizza and would feed, I would feed them, me and my granddaughter. Would take them and feed them. And
Is it fair to say that you, Carlina and Jamie, Taylor, that your entire family are very close?
yes, we are very close.
And would Chloe see all the different family members on
Oh,
a pretty
yeah.
regular basis?
Yes, yes.
Did she ever have any issues that you could see around any of the family members?
No, never.
Okay, did she enjoy herself?
Oh, yes.
She wasn't sad or depressed around you guys?
No. In the summertime, we would take her to the park, me and my granddaughters. My 2 granddaughters. I raised them and we would take them. We would take her to the park and play in the park with her.
Did you at any time ever see the grandparents hinder the father's parenting time with Chloe at any point?
I don't recall.
I mean, did they ever like stop him from seeing Chloe? Carlina and Jamie.
No, not that I recall.
Let me ask, would they cooperate with Ori the best you could tell?
Oh, yes.
How, from your perspective, how did they treat Ori?
Oh, very good. Very, very good.
Could you expound upon that? What do you mean?
They were closed. They were closed until November that everything when, I wasn't there when it happened. But she did call me. I was in Texas when all this happened.
And did you ever hear Ori ever I mean, would he talk good about Carlina and Jamie?
Oh, yes, all the time.
And what types of things would he say about
He said, "Oh, I can't believe how much Chloe loves you guys."
them? And did he say that a lot?
Yes,
And was that during the time period he was also working with Jamie at his construction place?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How close up into time was the last time you heard him say that they treated Chloe so well?
I really don't recall, but I remember the one time in September.
Of 23?
Yes. Yeah, last year in September, not this year,
Yeah.
last year in September.
Okay. And that was you think he was making those comments then?
Yes,
Any other comments he was making other than raving about how great they were and couldn't believe how close they were?
not that I recall.
Did there come a point after December of 2023 that Mr. Cronkite threatened to call the police on you?
Yes, it was, I have the text. It was in February. I was just checking into it. I had been trying to see my great granddaughter and I was begging him to see my great granddaughter. And he said to me, "Stop calling me and texting me because I'm going to call the cops and get you for harassment." And I said, "Why, Chloe? Why are you doing that to me? I've never done anything to you. I've been good to you guys." And he said, "Well, you better stop because I'm going to call the police and get you for harassment."
Right before he did that, did he lead you to believe that you could see your granddaughter?
Yes, he did.
Okay, and what did he say?
He said I could go over at about 5:30. And when it was ready for me to go, I got the text. And that's when he told me that for me to stop texting him and calling him, that he was going to call the cops on me for harassment.
Just for clarification purposes, so originally did you reach out to see Chloe and he said it would be okay?
At one time, yes,
Yeah.
when I came back from Florida.
Okay, and then you tried to follow up on that text and that's when he said you were harassing him?
Yes, sir. I got everything on my phone and my text.
Okay. And did you stop then?
Yes, I sure did. I stopped because I didn't want no problems. I don't want no problems with nobody.
Did you do anything or say anything to him that you're aware of that would have warranted that kind of response or behavior?
No, sir, nothing, nothing. I was good to them. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't understand it.
Does Chloe have any special needs that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of. We were always there for her.
Was there a time period in which you, in October or November of 23, that you did take Chloe because there was fighting going on between Mr. Cronkite and his wife?
Yes, I remember my daughter called me and said, "Mom."
Well, you can't say.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, Ori dropped her off about 5:30 in the morning. And he said that him and his wife had left and that he didn't want her to take Chloe. So he dropped Chloe at my daughter's house. And he left her there until Monday when she got back. And
So that was about 4 days, 5 days that she stayed there?
yeah, about, let's see. I want to make sure. I don't want to.
Take your time.
I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's when she came back on a Monday.
When you say she, you mean Kelsey
Kelsey
Cronkite?
Cronkite. And then I don't recall if she picked her up or we dropped her off. I don't recall that time.
You said 5:30 in the morning on Thursday or Wednesday?
I think it was, I don't recall.
Okay. Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday, yes, yes. Yes,
And did you take Chloe just for part of that time?
yes, I sure did for a little while because my daughter had to work and I stayed there with her for a couple hours.
Yep.
And then we took her to her other grandma's work.
You say other grandma, do you mean
Tammy
Mr. Cronkite's
yes.
mom?
Yes, I took her there for a little while and then I took her back to the beauty shop because my daughter was down working.
And did Chloe understand what was going on between Kelsey and Ori?
Oh, yes, but she told her grandma Tammy Cronkite what was going on.
Was she afraid?
She was scared. She looked like she was scared. She was talking to her grandma. I told her, tell Tammy what's going on. So she did.
But Chloe was clearly scared of what was going on.
Yes,
And so she knew what issues were going on between Mr. Cronkite and
yes,
his wife.
sir, she was.
And do you know whether or not you and the grandparents were able to console her during that time period?
Yes, and Tammy did too, for grandma.
And so when's the last time you have seen Chloe?
Dear Jesus, oh, let's see. Remember, it was on November. Because I tried to get a hold of him in February.
So November of 2023?
Yes, 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 sir. Yes,
And then did you leave the state of Michigan for a little bit?
yes, for a little bit. My daughter, I've adopted 5 children, so my adopted daughter sends me my flight ticket twice a year to go see my other grandkids and my other great grandkids. So I usually see her when I leave and when I get back. Chloe used to.
And that had happened for around 5 years.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, sir.
Has there been anything else that you can think of that Ori has told you that was concerning with regards to Chloe in the last few years? Let me ask you a different question. Did he ever indicate to you prior to the end of November 2023 that the grandparents were not appropriate to be with Chloe?
Not that I recall, I just,
Did he acknowledge that they had a very close bond?
oh, yes,
Did he acknowledge that she was happy to see them?
yes.
Okay.
And he told me that he didn't want us to take her to Chuck E. Cheese or shopping or anything like that, that needed to stop.
Okay,
So we stopped.
when was that?
Oh, and I don't remember.
Okay, sometime in 2023?
Yes, on 2023.
Okay, there came a point when, did he say why he didn't want you guys to take Chloe to Chuck E. Cheese or pamper her?
Yes, because she said that her other kids didn't do that stuff and that Chloe would go over there and talked about it. And that's all she said. I just don't understand it.
So your understanding was that Chloe was getting special treatment. Is that fair to say with you guys?
Yes,
And they wanted that to stop.
yes, yes, sir.
Anything else did he say needed to stop that you recall in 2023? To you?
No, just for us not to take her shopping or Chuck E. Cheese or,
But after that, did anyone, either Kelsey or Ori, reach out to you and then ask for you to purchase clothes?
oh, yeah, well, like in the school, before school started.
So what I'm asking though is after that statement or statements were made to you, did they either, meaning Kelsey or Ori, reach out to you and then ask for you guys to financially support them further?
She always did my daughter, my son-in-law, but not me. I always just give them money because I wanted to help.
Okay, so you would actually give them cash.
Oh, yes, he knows I always give him cash. And I even started a fund for Chloe. I would give the her grandma, Tammy, money to put on her account, on Chloe's account. So when she got older,
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Reed, any cross?
Briefly, Ms. Coughing, when you said the last time you saw Chloe was November of 2023, correct?
correct.
And when was the last time you had contact with Ari? Was the text message in February?
Yes, and I got the text message on my phone right now.
When was the last time you had contact with Kelsey?
The last time I had were when I don't recall, it was when I was in Texas. She called me. My son-in-law was having a heart attack. He was in the hospital. And I told her that I couldn't talk much because I had to go to the hospital to see my son-in-law in Texas. That's when I was in Texas.
Isn't it true that you were in a vehicle with Alyssa Toledo, Andrea Toledo, and you blocked Kelsey in a parking lot recently?
That's a lie. The police came to my house. She was pulling out, and I was trying to pull in when she was pulling out. And there's a camera, and the cop said he was going to go and see the camera. I have never threatened them. I've been good to them. I've been really good to them. And I'm telling you the honest truth.
Have you been to their home?
Yes, I have.
Have you driven past their home recently?
Recently, no, just when we would go with the cops to try and get Chloe when my daughter had permission to do it, when she had the paperwork.
Do you remember when that was?
I don't recall, ma'am. I'm 78 years old. I don't recall. I'm just telling you the truth and the honest truth.
Was that this year?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Because the judge had ordered my daughter to have her every other weekend. And I would go with my daughter. With
You
the
would bring the
police.
police with you?
Yes, we would take the police because they would take off.
I have no further questions.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Bartel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, thank you. That will conclude your testimony. You're free to go. Have a wonderful day. And why don't we take a lunch break and be back.
They'll take a lunch break, we'll take an evening break, but we'll all be back tomorrow. The good news is, I am so thankful that so many of you come here and hang out and have a good time, even through good times and bads in the chat. The chat for tomorrow morning's live is already up, so if you wanted, this is going to redirect you over there. You could stay up all night long in that chat, and it's going to redirect you over there. And I will check in from the gym. I am going to turn this off, get my gear on, leave my hair braided, and go to the gym. We have tomorrow's show already set to go, so you can chat all night long. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All night long. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, also, we'll finish this tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke a joint before I go. Drink some pop, take some caffeine pills, and put on a show. You guys, I love you so much. Seriously, I hope that you, I hope we all have a better tomorrow than we did today. I mean it about the chat being open. Like the live is already set. It will redirect us over there. So if you don't see it, you can go to the channel. You'll see it already up there. It's got a red thumbnail. And It's a great place to be. Like I said, I'll go pop over and say hi once I get to the gym. I gotta get moving. We gotta get a move on, Paisley. You can't stall. You can't do a long close. I know you want to. Mike, I'm sorry. It's not really your luck. I've done 2 shows today, 2 yesterday, and we'll do 2 tomorrow. This one's gonna redirect there. I love you all. I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. I love you.
Ways down